Hey, welcome to Blue Jacket Apiary. It's early, not real early, but it's early on a Saturday morning. I want to get out here before it gets too awful hot today. Take a look at the hives, see what we got going on, and just see where we're at. You know, our flow is going to start here soon, hopefully in the next week or so. I've already started seeing some early goldenrod around our area, which means it should start any minute now. Like I said, probably in the next week or so. So we're going to take a look, see what we can see, and I'm going to try to take you along for the ride. Stay tuned. All right, so this has been, I requeened this one back in the spring, and they are doing just, wow. This has been relatively full all summer, and I've kind of left it for them to work in and around and on and whatever during the dearth. And as you can see, that's all honey. And so our flow is starting, and so what I might do is take a couple of these and see if I've got another hive someplace that needs a little help. You know, maybe they haven't quite put as much away. I've got a smaller hive that's sort of been, they've been okay, but they haven't been great. And so I might give them some of this just as a matter of course. And that would be this one here. But we're gonna see. I'm gonna finish looking in this one. I'll probably pull this top box off and see what's in the bottom really quick. I don't know if you can see that down in there, but there's quite a few bees in here, so we'll see what's going on. All right, that's the bottom box, and that would be a bunch of bees. Oh wow, I'm gonna have to, you know, normally I may not pull every one of these frames, but I think today I feel like I have to, because there's just so many. I want to make sure that there's not, I want to make sure they're not getting ready to swarm. I mean, it's late in the year to be doing that, and that doesn't mean they won't. It just means I have to be a little proactive about making sure that they're not going to, so stand by. All right, well, they got a little testy, so what I did was I put 4 frames down below that were, a couple of them were not drawn. Hey, go away. And a couple of them had foundation. A couple of them did not. I put a couple empty frames up here, a couple empty frames in the bottom. So that'll give them something to do over the course of the next 2 or 3 weeks while this flow is going on. And hopefully, you know, hopefully they'll fill them out. I have a feeling they will. This has been an incredible hive since I requeened, and they've just been killing it. Next up is this one. Now, this queen and this queen both came from the same apiary, both the same supplier, same line, but they could not be any different. This one has been slow all year long. It just hasn't built up as much as I would have thought based on what I got out of this one. So we're gonna open this one up and see what happens, see what it looks like, and stay tuned. All right, so little update. So this is, I fed all of my hives about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to come out, but I just didn't get a chance. They took everything out of the feeders, the integral feeders in the April May hives, but I must say that's the most brood I've seen out of this queen all year long on that one frame. I don't know whether I should be impressed or not, because, hey, stop. Hold on. So So I got some brood in there. I'm glad to see that. I took a frame of brood out of this hive, and I'm gonna put it in here to try to boost those numbers. I've got a couple of frames of honey that I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna drop down in there. Hopefully they draw it out a little more. And that is still full of sugar water, but they're probably not gonna take it because maybe the flow has already started in our area. It's quite possible. So stay tuned. Well, this hive is just a monster. I'm gonna have to pull all these frames out and wow. I was not expecting this hive to be this huge. I hope that bodes well for the other two there, but whew, man, oh man. That's a big hive. You know, when there's, you know, if you pop open a hive and you see this in the bottom box, well, that's a good sign. But when you see it in the second box this big, that's, holy smokes, look at that. This thing is just a beast. Yeah, they're gonna get it back in there because it's dripping everywhere. Holy cow. I don't, man, they did a number on that thing. It's full. Well, it's not dripping out on that side, so here's what we'll do. We'll just set it down. Whew, man. Well, I'll tell you what, these ladies are going crazy. This is, I've not seen, I don't know if I've ever had a hive this big. But that's okay, because I'm going to be happy going into winter with a hive this big. Man, this thing's just, I don't know what to say. Holy cow. That's nice to see. I'm glad to put that back in the other way. Whoa. That's a full one. All right, so what we're gonna do is take a few of these frames out. I will probably put them in one of my other boxes to save, just in case one of these two is not where it should be. I'll give them a little extra honey to get into the winter time and before the flow starts. All right, so that's the plan. Stay tuned. All right, so they got a little testy, so I just zipped through, added a couple of empty frames. I cracked this one open at the top, smoked them, and they weren't having it. They were not happy. But I'll say this hive is huge. It's every bit as big as the one on the end. You know, if you remember, I cracked that one open and it was big. This one was like big. This one's just as big, but they had about 3 or 4 frames up in that second box that weren't drawn. But the ones that were up there that were drawn were probably half full of honey. So they've got 4 or 5 frames that are about 50% drawn, but there's enough of them during this flow. They should be able to finish that off, that second box. They're probably going to finish their second box. They will more than likely finish their second box, which means hopefully, knock wood, I'll get a little honey this fall. I'm going to try to crack open this end one, see what they look like. If they're as testy as the rest of these, I may not get any video. I may just have to talk about it when it's all said and done, but stay tuned. We're going to give it a whirl. Wow. Okay. Man, So here's what happened. I cracked open that last one, gave them a smoke. They weren't having it at all. And I mean, they were bad. Like, I've never worked a hive like that before. They were angry, like really angry. 3 stings angry. Yeah. And you may notice my jacket looks a little cleaner than it did when I started. So here's the story. I was down working a hive, cracked it open, they got mad. Sting 1, inside of the leg. About 30 seconds later, sting 2, front of the leg. I'm like, okay, this is getting serious. And so at that point, I decided I'm just going to pull 2 or 3 frames, see what's happening, look down into the bottom box rather than pull the second box, pull frames and see what's going on. And about that time, there was a bee in my ear. Yeah, somehow, some way, probably down here, they got into the veil. She did. And that set me off. And as soon as she like made noise in the veil, they came at me, like a lot of them. And so I skedaddled out of the apiary, walked up the hill. Didn't matter. They were still angry, still coming at me. Shed my gloves, ran up the hill the rest of the way into the house. And about 5 or 6 came in with me. Plus the one in my ear now. I don't know if I got stung on my ear or not, because my ear hurts because I was doing one of these on the veil the whole time. Undid the front of it, took the veil off, was looking around, and I could hear her. So she was still in the veil, but when you take it off and it goes over the back, it collapses onto itself, so it gets flatter. She was still in there, so I just said, forget it. Took the jacket off, tossed it on the ground, took a look at the ear. Don't see anything, but that doesn't matter to me right now. Grabbed my other jacket, my wife's. Luckily, it's the same size because we both like them a little loose. Put everything on, walked back out there, finished up what I was doing, put the lid on. Because when I left it as it was at the time. The second box was sitting on the ground. I was getting ready to pull. And, whew, man. So I went back down. I didn't even look. I picked up the box, put it on there, clamped it down, put the lid on, clamped it down, picked up all my stuff, put it in my little wheelbarrow thing. And wow. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, it was a one-time deal. It's early in the morning, so every bee in the colony is likely in there. That's the bad part about working in the morning. You get to see a full colony. Yeah, I see you over there trying to come in on my flank. The good part is you get to see the full colony. The bad part is you got the full colony. That's why I sort of like working them 11 or 12, because by then a large majority of the foragers are out doing their thing. I don't get a real good view of the colony, but I get to see part of it, and there's fewer in there that I have to worry about getting angry and coming at me like this morning. So a recap. The first colony, booming. Second colony, doing okay. I mean, I saw more brood today than I've seen from the beginning, which is a good sign. I gave them a frame from another colony. I gave them actually a couple. I gave them 3 partially drawn frames, foundationless, and 1 full frame. And then the 3rd, 4th colonies are just getting big and working. That 5th colony is angry. Like, well, they chased me out. So, and 3 stings. So, we'll see. I'm not going to freak out right now because it was a one-time gig. We'll see what happens. We'll give them a week. And if I come out here next Saturday and they're like that, I don't know what I'm going to do. At this stage, it's the 1st of September. I hear you. You can go away now because I'm angry at you guys, just like you're angry at me. At this stage, I might leave everything and just see what they do in the winter time, because if they make it through winter, man, that's a good thing. So that's your apiary report from Blue Jacket Apiary. I hope you enjoy this weekend, and remember, be kind.